Hello, everyone.
Good morning.
Sorry I was a bit late. The laptop decided to log me out for no apparent reason, so I had to struggle to get back on. Right. Let me load my stuff.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah, Salman isn't going to make it today, so I'll just go through his document. I haven't seen it yet, so you'll have to bear with me on that one, but I'll load it up and we can just talk through it. Come on. Right, I'll load Salman up. Okay, I'll share my screen. Could Imran, could you allow me to share the screen, please?
Yes.
Okay. Screen 2. Okay. Right. Okay. Now, since we last met, I haven't really done much in terms of editing this sort of code, only because we had a couple of contributions. The one being the random forest, and the other being the permutation-based feature importance. And basically, the random forest is a decision tree, but with many trees. And I think this one has this particular model that was input by Masood. It's given us a lot of insight. It was done on the data that had only been imputed, encoded, and scaled. It wasn't done on the EDA data, but the insights that it give pretty much matching of what we expected. I haven't had a chance to run it through the EDA data yet, but I will do by the end of the day. And I can, if there's anything that is massively changed compared to the analysis that we've already done, I'll let the group know. Because at this point, I think what we're going to do is move on with probably three. I think we said 3 different data sets based on our feature and engineering insights, which I'll go into a little bit more later. The permutation-based feature importance. Now, this was also a good one. Again, it gave us what we pretty much expected. I hadn't tackled this one because I knew Salman was doing it as well, but he took a slightly different approach to what we see here, but the results they tend to be quite quite similar. So I'll take a look at Salman's. Other than that, as I say, I haven't changed anything in there because these are some really good insights, especially around the Q1. And the decision tree models just gives exactly the same as the random forest, just less emphasized. The PCA, I had a little second thought about the PCA, and for this particular data set, the EDA data set, I don't think it's one that we can take forward. I think we get much more profound results from the like the gradient boosted trees and things like that we've implemented. So I don't think we're going to take this one forward unless someone has done a similar analysis and got results much better than mine. I think we'll just give that one a miss. In terms of Salman's, let me refresh that today. Regression to put once it loads. Come on. Here we go. So this is the template. Really, this is let's have a look. Program. Yeah, it is. So what I'm going to do now then, I'll apply temporary to both the imputed data set and the EDA data set. By all means, give it a try yourself. It's a simple task. All you'd have to do is change a couple of the names of the data sets and things like that. As you can see here, it's loading the diabetes data set from the scikit-learn data sets package. So you just change that to use just load it into Pandas and read CV, and we'll put your data in there if you want to try this template. As you can see here, it just gives you your feature importance, and it retroactively sort of drops each feature. Because as we discussed last time, if you drop one feature, it does have a knock-on effect on the others, and it can affect their numbers. From this particular data set, it's noted that it didn't change them much, but once we apply that to a sort of real-life data set, the changes in these numbers could be actually quite significant. So it'll be very interesting I'll run it and I'll upload the template and I'll do the complete, finalize the feature engineering template. But I would encourage you to do this yourself, because this will be, it'll give you a sort of intuitive look at how this particular method works, and you'll be able to see some real life fluctuations in your data importance, which you will come across in your real life career as well. And it's important to know why that happens and understand, how to move forward when it does happen. And so I'll do this later on today. I'll upload it and I'll give everyone a shout on the Slack just to go over it. But please, if you can try it yourself. So these are just the plots. Where's the permutation one? I don't think he has included it. So we'll just have to apply this template to our data. Go on, sorry.
Is it just me, or others also facing like disruption in your voice? Your voice is breaking a little. I'm not sure. Is it just for me or for some other people?
Yes, Imran. Same for me.
Same for you?
Yeah, it's not continuous.
Is it?
It's in between. Yeah, breaking in between.
Oh, I don't know. Let me just try and shut a few.
Did anything change from your end, Rich?
Give me 1 second. It's breaking up for me a little bit as well.
Strange. Well, we still can get a more sense out of what you're saying anyways, but it's just breaking it.
You want to try rejoining quickly, Rich? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll rejoin. Give me 1 second.
Not a bad suggestion. Thanks.
No, is that better?
So far, yes.
A little bit better.
I think how's for everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah, seems good for now.
Yeah. Where was I up to before it started to get a bit messy? Is there anything I need to talk about again? Let me just share my screen again. So.
Does anyone else see Rich in the Zoom meeting twice? Or is it?
Oh yeah, I don't know why. Yes, it's twice. I don't know. He might. I don't know what happened.
Let me just put that. I don't know why it's happening. It's usually quite good. I don't know if my laptop.
It's okay. It's better
because I've had it.
Yeah, but the voice is clear.
Yeah, is
it's
it better
now?
Yeah, your voice is great now.
Cool. So yeah, so what I was saying earlier on, Salman has provided the template for the RFE regression. He actually hasn't applied it to our data sets yet. So what I'm going to do is apply this to both the imputed data, that is the imputed, scaled and encoded data, and the data that was created from the insights from the EDA. And all the data is available there. So if you could do this yourself as well, I think it'd be quite important for learning, because it is such a strong feature importance method. So if you could try it yourself, please do it. It'll be very valuable. But I'm going to do it and upload it to each of the templates, just so it's there. And I think deciding forward, this is something that we have to decide, is what data set do we need to take to move forward. Has anyone done any experimentation on their own on the data sets? Have they used insights from the EDA and come up with different variations of the data than I have? It's quite the open floor. If anyone's done an experimentation, it'd be quite good to see the results of it. But I think, as we discussed Sunday as well, I think we need to decide on taking forward 3 different versions of the data based on 3 different feature engineering methods. I think an obvious one would be the XGBoost that provided very good insight into and it's probably it's a fantastically strong algorithm as well. So I think that one would definitely be my first choice. This one here. The second one, I think, definitely RFE. Again, that's also a very strong one, and it does it over a number of iterations as well. So it constantly corrects itself. And then the third one is completely open to discussion. I don't think the PCA, as I said, is a good option. I don't think it was that strong, unless someone else has had a go at doing PCA and the PCA and come up with better results than I did. I'm completely open to that, and hopefully, if someone else, we can incorporate that and take that one forward to the model building. But what I will do as well, I'll create those data sets and I'll upload them to the feature engineering folder, so we've got them there and everyone can take a look at them and experiment with them as well. So yeah, I think that was pretty much it for the feature engineering in terms of what I've done. Again, I just have to implement Salman's template, re-upload this particular notebook, and job's good. We can just think about what we're going to do for the model development. Has anyone got any questions? Oh, go on, sorry.
No, please go ahead.
I have a quick question. Has anyone looked, so we've now run this through a random forest, an XGBoost, a LightBoost, a couple of different things, and we're using those to determine, feature importance. Has anyone looked at the RMSE of any of those models to determine which of those is actually providing us with the best accuracy so far?
Not yet. That is included in Salman's template. We've got pretty much a plot of that, and it's sort of quantitatively as well. I haven't applied it to any of in the template at the moment, but I will. That's something I need to do.
Is RMSE also our target statistic, our loss test for this?
Yeah, I think it is. See, we've got. I don't think it's in Salman's thing. I was discussing it with Salman yesterday. Where is it? I made a pretty much a template. No, it's not there. I made a template that I just pull out a couple of different metrics, and it would, as the sort of models were applying, fitting and transforming the data to pull out the importance, it would give us them metrics. But I don't think it's pretty much, it's similar to what is getting shown on the RFE template, but it includes a number of different metrics in the F1 score and things like that. So I think that needs to be applied once I implement Salman's template into the original data.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's using at the moment the negative mean absolute error. That's just what for the RAF, but I don't think that the RFE, I don't think that one's going to be our target metric. But yeah, we'll experiment with it definitely. Have you done any sort of calculations on that at all, or is it just something that?
I have done a couple of run a couple of different things and a couple of different versions of the data set actually.
Yeah.
To just see what eliminating, like, to see how the eliminating some of these features affects our actual accuracy at the end. Because the way that we've been looking at it, or the way that looking at it, feature importance, like feature importance just tells you how important it is for determining for inside the algorithm, but it doesn't tell you how accurate the algorithm is at actually doing anything. So I ran through a couple of things. It seems like Random Forest and Random Forest, of course, and XGBoost seem to have pretty similar RMSE, and it seems like we have a lot of, based on a couple of different things, we have a lot of features that we can get rid of without significantly impacting the accuracy of the model, because they don't have like, even as we eliminate them, they have relatively little impact on the actual the actual model itself, at least the features that we have so far.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. The I've just been the template that Salmon uses, it looks at the R2 MAE and the MSE as well. So we'll run, I'll incorporate these scorings at every point. I think that's a good idea, and I'm glad you mentioned that. I'll calculate the score for each model, and then we can decide on what ones are going through there. But I think in terms of feature engineering, we've done quite well, and we've used pretty much, not all of them, but most of the tools at our disposal. And I think adding these accuracy scores at the end, I'll extract them from Salmon's template, and I'll stick them on the bottom of each method, because I'll be interested in the permutation one as well, and see how that works. But yeah, I think we've done well so far. And then once that's all done, we can move forward with whatever models we need, data sets we need, and I think it's going to be a good idea for model building. Has anyone else got any sort of questions at all? I'm sorry if I'm not looking in the camera. I've got 3 screens, so me Zoom's on the other one.
Any questions, anyone? Feel free to
I was going to
ask.
say as well, Michael, if you can share what you've done as well, I'd be happy to look at it and incorporate it to our main notebook. As many sort of iterations of the same thing we can get, the better, I think.
I uploaded, you had asked about the site EUI versus the Energy Star, the stratification.
Yes.
I uploaded that into the EDA folder.
Perfect.
Kind of just before this.
Thank you.
Looking at it, there's not a strong kind of correlation between the two, between them, but there is some stratification. Healthcare and food are statistically higher than the rest, and religious worship and warehousing are much lower than the rest. Most of them do fall in a relatively thin band, but you can see it in some of the other graphs that are part of that analysis that I did. It's I don't know that there's a ton of useful information in it, but it does show that at the very least there is some correlation between your site energy usage and your facility type. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'm just having a look. I'm having a quick look at it now. But yeah, I mean, it's important. I mean, what you've done here is essential work for any data set. So I think we should include it in the EDA. I'll edit the EDA and upload it, and it is valuable insight at the end of the day. It's something as well. If people want to take these templates away, you can use them on any data set they want. It's just valuable to have. But yeah, just looking at it, it's some good work there.
Yeah. I'll throw up. I have, like I said, I have a couple of models and data that I built. I'll throw those up sometime
Yeah, please
tomorrow.
do.
I ended up being busy during the last meeting. I had a job interview that I had to be at, so it's been crazy over here.
Well, good luck with that.
Here's hoping.
What was the job? Was it data science related?
No, it's maybe eventually, but AWS, Amazon Web
Nice.
Services.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
Michael, are you in US or somewhere else?
I'm in Tokyo. in
Oh,
Japan.
wow. Okay. Japan.
We are literally all over the world, aren't we?
Man. What time is it
Yeah.
over there right now? I'm just curious.
It's 10:30 p.m. That's why
Man.
sometimes
Oh.
that's why I couldn't make the
Yeah.
one over the weekend. Is my interview was first thing in the morning, and this was like 10 o'clock at night for me, and I was like, I need to be awake for my for my
Yeah.
interview, and
That's a good start.
yeah. So, but yeah, so
Yeah.
all over the world.
Yeah, but please, upload that, because the insight you gave for this particular, the stratification in the EDA, I think that's very valuable, and it was a good way of looking at things. It's certainly something that I overlooked. So if you upload that, I want to make sure that I haven't overlooked, or Salman hasn't overlooked anything, and it's just get a nice fresh pair of eyes on it, and we'll incorporate it anyway, because it might, we might build on something that we've already done, and it might change it completely. It's great, but the more information, the better. But thank you for uploading that. I'll go through it later, and I'll incorporate it into our EDA. In terms of feature engineering, though, I'm happy to open the discussion of what we think we should do moving forward. Then we've got a couple of the results for the XG boost and things like that. I'm thinking, as I said earlier, we take a chunk of that. Depending on the accuracy measures, we'll take a chunk from that. We'll take in the RFE algorithm. We'll take the data set that produces in terms of feature importance, and then I'm happy to discuss any others based on your information there, Michael, about the random forest. We'll take a look at what before confirming anything. We'll take a look at what you've done, and I think we'll take three versions forward to the model building section when that comes about, and I think we'll be onto a winner. That's just my opinion. If anyone has any other ideas, please let me know, and me and Salman will sort that out.
So the three ones which you just said, I think earlier, is one is XGBoost, the other is RFE, and the third one is something.
The third one, from what Michael's just said, the random forest might be an idea to take forward as well. What I'm going to do, that I'll make a sort of definite decision once I've incorporated Salman's information and scored every algorithm, and then we'll be more clearer then exactly. But just on intuition, that's what I suggest. But I could be dead wrong until I do the proper accuracy metrics. But yeah,
that was a good call, Mike, for that accuracy measure. Definitely, we need to know that. Thanks for giving your 2 cents. Any questions, anyone?
Is there any questions around the presentation as well? Because I've seen the Slack's quite busy with questions about the presentation.
Imran, I thought you will share the template quickly, those who are present, and also there were some doubts regarding me file, so we can quickly.
Yes, Komal. I was hoping for Rich to end, then I was about to give it to you for that.
So let's see if people have any questions on feature engineering topic, and then we move.
Feel free to ask, everyone. We are all here to learn, so please be open. Yeah,
that's the thing. There's only like one final part now. It's just incorporating Salman's work into ours and Michael's work into it as well. Once I've rerun it and uploaded it, everyone can take a good look. And in if you've got any questions beyond this call, please just message me or Salman, and we can get to the bottom of it for you. But yeah, I'm happy to hand over to you, Kamal.
By the way, very good suggestion, Rich, that Salman's that template for RFE. It's very, very nice. So I encourage everyone. It shouldn't take more than 20 minutes. Just read it and then at least just follow that. It's very nice for you to get a good sense how to approach in our project as well.
Yeah, it's a very powerful method of, gauging feature importance. I've seen it a lot. I just didn't do it because I knew Salman was going to do it, and there's no point in replicating the work. But if you can download it and run it on either one of the data sets, do it, because it'll give you a much better understanding of feature importance, rather than just fitting a relatively easy model like XGBoost. If you just fit that, it's not as technical and it's not as sort of iterative either. It's a really good way to learn about this particular process. So I do recommend everyone give it a go, and you might find something surprising that we've overlooked.
Also, I noticed we mainly just start with encoded data, and then we do our feature engineering. I asked to message you earlier because some participants are very, very beginner. So if you can, there's a few lines of code. If you can show how you got data and then you transformed it into drop column, is the message I mentioned. There's a good note, although the message how to concatenate with our original training data with the all.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some are
Okay.
beginners, I'm afraid although message tells everything very explicitly, but I'm still afraid. So it shouldn't take more than 2-3 lines of code if you don't mind incorporating.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'll add that in, because it's merging the encoded data frame with the training data frame. Okay. And once the data frames are joined, and dropping some of the original. So I'll include that into the code. Yeah.
Thank you. Although I like the commentary, though it says everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's difficult. It's difficult because I do this all the time. I'll type it out and just go, "That's the way it's done," and then forget that other people. I have to always remember my audience. That's the problem.
And that's still a learning skill for all of us as well, because sometimes in industry as well we have to.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think what's important as well with the terms like the commentary. I think a piece of advice I'd have to everyone is when you're working through it, do comments on everything, even if you've done it a million times before. Write a bit of technical documentation with it, because it's good practice, and it sort of reaffirms your knowledge. Like I've got things I'm doing in work which I've done a million times before, but I still write the technical documentation to go with it, just in case I need it to present to anyone, or I need to, just revisit some code that I haven't used in 6 months and I've completely forgot about how to use it. I can go back and see what notes I've made and understand exactly what I've done and why I've done it. So I think it is best practice. But if you're writing a lot of it, like I've just done there, I got a bit sloppy and didn't include everything I needed to. But that's just being a human being. Do you know what I mean? But
no, definitely. But still, overall, you guys are doing a pretty decent job in terms of commentary wise. Very professional. And takeaway for all of us, since we all have to go to industry and work for as a machine learning engineer, data scientist, so it will be expected to comment it out. Otherwise, we won't be able to survive. So please try to build up that habit from this project. Okay, I'll pass it down to Komal now.
On the similar line, Rich, I also have a similar request for the two data set that you have created. Like one is encoded scaled, another one is after EDA recommendations. Can we have a summary also on what exactly was done for that data? Suppose for the encoding and the scaled one encoding, what kind of encoding was done for which feature, or even for the EDA, eventually what all things that you took from EDA, like converting year to age. And if you can summarize in the text so that people know what are the changes from the original data set are there in this. Thank you, Rich.
Thanks, Komal. That was a good point.
Not a problem.
Yes. Although basic, but it will help definitely to many.
Yeah.
Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, Komal will take the lead from now. I think you can go ahead, Komal.
Yeah, I just shared, okay? Because we have just 8 minutes, so we'll
exactly.
Yes. So regarding the presentation part, just wanted to share all the topics are taken up. All the 9 topics are taken up by
nice.
team members, so it's very nice. Regarding the README file, I see many of the volunteers have taken, like the people who are doing the presentation, they said if nobody's taking, we will take the README file.
Makes logical sense.
Yeah, but still, if somebody wants to try their hand, do let us know. There are many topics left, or even if some simpler topics you want to take, they're ready to leave the place and they can take something else. Okay, so do ping me if anybody wants to take any topic out of this. Now regarding the presentation, I'll go quickly through the template that we created, and then we talk about the README file. So regarding the template, as I explained in the Slack also, So this is a basic Omdena template that we have created, and I have taken up Imran's kickoff PPT. So there are the few initial beginning information. This is the agenda on what is the topic about, what is the overall team, what are the goals that we are trying to achieve, and all those things I have already mentioned. So please do not change those presentations. So till the slide number 8, please do not modify anything. The actual topic and subtopics, they starting from slide number 9. So for now, I have just kept 3 placeholders for every topic. Like data insight and pre-processing has 3 slides for 3 topics. So if I talk about this one, I have written the subtopic as per my best understanding. So if you want to slightly modify it to fit content, please feel free to do it. Also add your slides after your subtopic, to add more slides for your subtopic, add images, add code, and while we are doing the presentation, you can switch between the presentation, and also you can show the code from existing code that our task leads have made. Or if you have done something extra which is not included in the GitHub yet, please come up with that code, and eventually that code we will be merging in the main files. So this is what we have to do for our presentation about the topic. Now, if you go down to the slides, there are 2 slides at the end, which we want all of us to share, which is we want all of us to share your experience, write your name and your experience in terms of what all you gained from this overall process, what skills and learnings you achieved through this program. So that, and if I'll just add also if there are any improvements that you want us to do, so that in the next phase we can implement the improvements which are being asked, and also keep on leveraging the good things that we have done in the process. And the last slide, which is references used, as many of us were asking about what all links we are using, and the courses that many of us have learned to while we are doing our data science journey. So please add all those details. So once we have all the 9 topics presented, eventually at the end, I will be merging all the information in one presentation, and that will be the final outcome or one of the deliverables for phase 1. So that's it. Any question anybody has on what is needed to be added?
What will be their deadline for each person who has to present? Komal, can you tell that?
So yeah, those deadlines are there in our Excel, right?
So
yeah, so the first phase we are going to do on this Friday.
Yep.
Yeah, first phase. Yeah.
Hey Komal, like what's the amount of time allotted to each person for the presentation?
Yeah, so it's 10-12 minutes. You think it's okay, Manasa?
I don't know. It depends on the topic someone is explaining. Some of the topics are like more simpler than the others. So I don't know like how it
We are
would work.
targeting maximum 10 to 12 minutes. Okay. Less is good. But if you think we would need more time, then we will see. If it is necessary, we really have to go with it.
Okay.
Well, yes. Yeah. When you prepare, just prepare in mind like maybe 12 minutes max. Yeah. But if it's higher, that's fine, because overall we usually stay till 45 minutes. So still, I think it will balance out in the end.
But still, if any question arise in between, we should be happy to have some time for that also, right?
That's also a good point. Yes.
Yeah, I think as well, during the presentations, I mean, it's going to be, it's not going to be a deep dive. It's going to be a sort of broad overview of what we've done and why we've done it, because all the technical specifics are within the notebooks. So I don't think, the people who are going to be presenting would necessarily need to reread the notebook and tell us every single minute detail. It'll be a broad reaching overview, I think. So I think 10 to 12 minutes, it could be done. But as you say, if it goes over, it goes over. It's a learning experience, isn't it? But I think the presentation is fantastic, and I like at the end as well, where we're gonna, share our experiences, every member of the group, just what we've learned, what we've got to improve on, and whatnot. It's gonna be a good presentation.
Thanks, Rich, for that. That's actually it's Rich's suggestion. The second last slide about sharing experience. Actually,
Yes.
yes, I never thought of it, but that's a very good point actually. And also in presentation, we just have to focus why we did. So I think that explaining why is always it's important for everybody to know.
Yeah, and if anyone's got any issues with the content, they're not really sure what to write, just reach out and give me a message, and I'll help you as much as I can. Because the likes of the data pre-processing, I've pretty, me and Salman have implemented a lot. So, if you need to know the reason why and you don't know, give us a shout, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any questions regarding the presentation? We have just last 1 minute, I think.
So by when we need to send it to you to merge everything from different?
No, so merging, we will, so don't worry about the merging part. You can be ready with your presentation on the day itself. The merging and all, I can do it later.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we are gonna do every part on single, different day, right? We are not presenting on the same day. So just be ready on your own day of presentation, that's it.
So Komal, what's your plan?
And I wanted to ask
Sorry.
one more thing, like for example, data pre-processing. I mean, the presentation will be starting with generic and then moving towards what actually we implemented, or we'll just go through the code and explain what we did and why we did.
Which topic you said, sorry?
Data pre-process, for example, the topic that I'm presenting, data insight and everything. So we'll start with generic things like the basic steps that we need to follow for any and every data set, and then deep diving into the steps that we actually followed for this data set, or it will be directly like we'll be explaining the things that we did only and why we did.
I would probably just explain the things that we've actually done. All the stuff we've done can be applied to any data
one
set anyway.
second. Rich, shall we rejoin? It's gonna end abruptly.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
And
Let's rejoin. Yeah.
Cool.
I think we all are here, right?
I think the one who's talking to you, she
Yeah.
isn't joined yet. Roshni, I guess.
Yeah, Roshni. Yeah.
She just joined.
Yeah, Rich, sorry, please start.
Hi, Roshni. This is how we say it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, please go ahead. What you were asking?
Yeah, so I was asking, will it be very generic for starting with generic and then moving to explaining the code, why we did and what are the steps we did? So that was I was asking, and I think Rich was saying something.
Rich, go ahead. Can you?
Yeah. What I was gonna say is that I don't think with the time constraints, I don't think it would have to be too generic. Me personally, I'd just describe literally what we've done and how we've done it. Because you could be there all day describing different ways of doing it. If we just stick with what we've actually done and why we've did it, I think it'll be a lot more valuable as well. It doesn't leave a lot in the head. It's what we've done and we've followed the path, and it'll probably make a lot more sense to people as well if they hear it from a presentation point of view, like a brief overview. But yeah, that's what I'd do. I'd stick to what we've done. That's my personal opinion anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's true. And also, like if any it depends on the topic. If any topic needs a quick theory, we can have a quick summary. Like I was saying that, I mean, my topic for the univariate analysis of numerical features. So the main things that we have done is we have all the graphs of all the variables where we are showing their mean, skewness, and kurtosis and all those things. So we will have a basic, like I personally, I'm going to add a very, very basic slide about what exactly you mean by mode, mean, standard deviation, and skewness, and this thing. A quick 2 minutes revision on the terms, and then we go to our code to explain a few parameters on how we read those graphs. Like if I'm talking about a floor area, then it has a long tail. What exactly it means, and how are we going to deal about that long tail and all those things? A few implementation in our code.
Yes.
And but precisely for your topic, Roshna, you might not need any generic explanation because it's very basic, right?
Yeah.
But let me paraphrase it. So idea is, first, if topic is too difficult, ideally give some theory, very precise, but theory behind it. Then, as Rich said, whatever we have covered, focus on that part first, like explain us why we did what we did. And then ideally, if you have done something which we haven't covered, but it's relevant to that portion, please share that as well, because that's giving you an opportunity to share something which you didn't get a chance earlier. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Any other questions, anyone? Koma, do you have anything else to share? Or you're good?
Yeah, regarding the README file, there were questions so I talked with Salman, and even I had a doubt that eventually we will have just one README file for our repo, right? So he said, yeah, individually people will write their subsections in the README file, and at the end we will have to merge it to make just one for our repo. And in the individually README file, we already have a lot of comments and description in our code where we are describing what is the insight that we found out from this step and what exactly we are going to do in terms of encoding and all those things. So that information has to go in README file. The purpose is to summarize whatever we have done, why we have done it, and what all insights and why we took this approach and all, so that if any new person comes to our repo, he or she would already know the steps and process that we have done. Right, Imran? Correct me if...
No, that's exactly what we need to do. I was thinking, like, somebody, at least that's how I would do it. If I'm presenting, and of course I know what I'm presenting, then whatever I know, it's already in the notebooks as well, as you already said. I would just take some portion of it, just maybe precise, and just put it directly onto the README as well. Because since we have one README, why don't we give some spacing between the 3 sections, like with a big with some title, and then just copy pasting right now, so at least we have just fill it out as we go, because we need to get it done by 29th, everything, right?
Yeah. So people who are taking README file, they can upload their changes directly to GitHub. That's fine. We can while you're presenting, you can show there also.
Yeah, and then in the end we can just review if everything looks good, which should be fine actually, because by now we know what we're doing. But good call, good suggestion.
So regarding the merging, Imran, whenever the people will be ready on their date, right? Like if I'm talking about 24, the first set of first 3 subtopics will be done by 20.
Why don't you share that Excel?
Yeah, once.
Open that Excel.
Yeah.
Okay.
First topic will be done by 24. So after the presentation, you guys can share the your PPT with me, and similarly on the next days. And I will keep on merging these sections. Okay. And the only thing which will be left is 29th. And after the meeting, I will try to merge them, and the presentation would be ready. Make sense, Imran?
Yes. So you're saying after every section, you will just merge them together into our own main final presentation, right?
Yes.
That makes sense very well. So how about the README? My concern is, yeah, those who haven't will be great if they can sign up for some README spot. That will be helpful. And yes, so that will be helpful.
Kuma, let me know if no one picks it up. I can add my name on all of them.
Is it Roshna?
Who is it?
This is Mansa.
No.
This is Mansa.
Thanks a lot, Mansa.
Okay, man.
So that I think that would be very helpful.
No worries. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess anything else, Komal? I think looks like we have
No, I
covered
think
everything.
yeah,
Just giving
covered.
guys heads ups. There's
Yeah.
still a few things I need to plan and few things I'm working with few people. We might have a poll we're gonna share to ask when should we start our part 2, because we have, if we do this and if we leave, go do our own things, it may not gonna add value, because once, if we know end-to-end cycle, that's when we can tell to employers or for job interviews or something. So we need to get them part 2, and it's supposed to be 8 weeks long, but we split deliberately for 4 each. So basically there'll be a little bit poll to ask you guys, how much days break should we give? Just 1 week break should we give it, or we should just start right away? So you guys can poll and then we can start the part 2 of the this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think there'd be any reason, to have the break. But I think as well, in the second section, I think I'd like to see more people being involved in the coding as well, if you know what I mean. So I think given a little week break maybe would, let people think about what they want to do in the next steps. I mean, we've because me and Solomon are greedy, we've started doing things already, so we can help people with that as well. But yeah, I'm very easy either way. I can, just continue kind of thing. But if people need a week break or whatnot, that's perfectly fine. Just give them something to think about. What their role is going to be in the next couple of tasks. But yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes, Manasa, you were about to say something, right? What you were saying?
Oh, I was about to say that like after 29th we'll have 4 days, and the week after we could start. That's what I was about to say, Imran.
After 29, there's okay.
But
4 days.
but either way is fine. Like we can go with what Rich suggested, like give a 1 week break.
Yeah, just I think put it a poll in Slack or something, and just get the best votes. Like we did last time for the
let's do
meetings.
that.
Just put a poll in, and we'll just pick from there. I think a lot of us are quite keen to continue anyway.
Yeah, because
so,
the momentum has grown up. My only thing is before even starting part 1, my only thing is the reason I thought maybe we should split, so at least hopefully people can absorb like slowly in chunks, like rather than, because as some people have a beginner level. I was also thinking for part 2 do a separate publicity marketing, so then other people who are experienced, I can see what their levels are. They tell in their profile, and those who are experienced, if you guys are okay, we can let them join as well. There are videos over there. There are a few things I'm working on backend. There's still just wanted to give an idea. Let's see about how the polling goes, and we'll go from there forward.
Yeah, I was going to say as well with the presentation, over the days when they're recorded, I'll string them all together into one big sort of presentation that I'll put on YouTube. So you can watch it back in one big hit kind of thing. It'd be good.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. You're maintaining it very well, and I'm just loving it. I'm sure participants are joined. For those who haven't, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's so convenient, just one video, you just watch it all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll share the polls soon in a few days, and then we'll go from there. Any other questions, anyone? Otherwise, we're gonna wrap up now. Okay, I assume we are good. Feel free to message us on Slack if there's any questions or concern, and have a good day, everyone.
Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.